Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of our Greater Goals for Girls series. My name is Julia Breen-Wall. I'm the head of school at Stuart Country Day School in Princeton, New Jersey. We are an all-girls K-12 school with a co-ed preschool. I am a new head of school here, and just a little bit of background of the concept of this series. Um, when I started here, and even prior to me arriving, I had the fortune of meeting with so many constituents in the Stewart community. I met with alums and parents and students, and through that process, really got to know the community. And one comment to me from an alum resonated when she said, Julia, Stewart just has greater goals for girls than other places. And so it was something that stuck with me in terms of wanting to explore that idea further of what we really meant by greater goals, what we meant by success. And so when I was talking with Hillary Nastro, who I'm going to introduce to you in a second, about how we bring these conversations and our learnings about the Stewart community to others, we thought that this series would be a really easy and fun way to do that. And so these are meant to be a series of conversations with our internal folks, folks leading areas of the school that you might be interested in learning more about. So today we are talking about college, which is a goal for our students. And we feel like we uniquely define that goal through our process. And so I'm excited to introduce them. But before I do that, I'd love to just introduce quickly Hillary Nastro.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Hillary Nastro, the Director of Enrollment. I'm also a parent. My daughter, Anna, is not the Anna on the screen. My daughter, Anna, is in first grade and started in our early childhood program. And it's my first year working at Stuart, but my 20th working in admission and including at a couple of other local independent schools. So if you have any questions about enrollment or want to come visit us, please let me know. Thanks so much.
So as I was invited to join this community as its leader, one of the key markers for my enthusiasm was the 5 goals of the Sacred Heart. I felt like it was this beautiful roadmap that was provided to me in how I lead with a centering values and what our pathway was as a school, and as that school is connected with 25 other schools across the country, other Sacred Heart schools. That was hugely attractive to me. And so before we talk about college specifically, I just love to tell folks here what these 5 goals are, and just simply name them. And then I guess I would love to intro our conversation, Cindy and Anna, with after certainly you introduce yourself, but I'd love to hear a little bit about in those goals, what is popping to the top for you? How are these connecting to the work that you're doing right now? And in particular, how is it connecting as you sought a college, as you counsel students to college, and what some of those broader outcomes, what we mean by broader outcomes. So the 5 goals for our Sacred Heart institution are, firstly, a personal and active faith in God. The second is a deep respect for intellectual values. The third is a social awareness which impels us to action. The fourth is the building of a community as a Christian value. And the last and 5th goal is a personal growth in an atmosphere of wise freedom. So with that, I'm introducing Cindy Michalak, our Director of College Counseling, and Anna Landis, who is a senior on her way to, I believe, Georgetown, right? So I'll turn it over to you.
Great. So I'll just start by just a quick introduction. So I'm relatively new to the Stewart community, as is Julia. And so this is my, we'll say 18th month, right? So I've been here about a year and a half right now. And my career started in highly selective college admissions, which was so fun and wonderful. And I learned a lot, but I really what I loved the most was what I probably had the least amount of time with, which is working with students. And so that led me to college counseling. After doing that for a number of years, I then saw the opening at Stuart. And as Julia, as you mentioned, the goals are really one of the biggest things that drew me here. I myself am a public school product, so I have always been in co-ed environments, and so this was my first foray into an all-girls school. And I think that, I like to say to my friends a lot of times that I drank the Kool-Aid really quickly. I could see the benefits of being in this all-girls environment and having those 5 goals as kind of an anchor, right? Everything that we do here is so based on those goals and is led by that. And the more I learned about Stuart as I was interviewing, and the more I have been in this environment, I continue to see that, and that makes me really, really happy to be part of this. So, Anna, maybe I'll let you introduce yourself, and then we can talk more about the specifics.
So I'm Anna Landis, a senior at Stuart. I started my career here a little earlier in preschool. So I was about 3 years old, and I've been here pretty much ever since. I fell in love with Stuart almost immediately. It's been in my family for a while since my mom is an alum. I took 3 years off when we moved, and I did attend a co-ed school, but I truly missed the all-girls environment. And as soon as I came back, I jumped right back into it. And like you said, the advantages are unbeatable. So Stuart has been my home for the longest time, and it's crazy that I'm a senior now and get to experience the college counseling experience.
So Cindy, can you, as you think about your process that starts, I guess, with sincerity in junior year, but really the foundations are built as you arrive in high school in terms of support. What are some of those those leading values? What are you hoping that that students will feel and do as they go through their process with you? And then Anna, I'm interested to know how has it felt for you? What are those touch points that have been helpful? And how do we get you to the end goal?
Yeah, so much of applying to college is telling one story through your application, right? To the person on the other end who is reading it. Who are you, and how are you going to fit in at our school? And so, one of the things that I think is so great about this particular environment is that I get to know the students so very well. Because of our size, I see the girls from 9th grade on. I know who they are. So by the time they get to me, really, like you said, in earnest, kind of in that junior year, I've already have an understanding of kind of how they roll within our community, right? And I ask them to do a lot of reflection at the beginning when they start working with me, and continually throughout my time working with them. So it's a lot of understanding yourself and understanding why you do the things you do, why you want what you want. As students think about what the next 4 years are, right? They're taking this next step of independence. You're going into your next step into adulthood. And so when we talk about things like wise freedom, right, there's a lot of personal choice and self-reflection that comes with that. And that is really what the college process is asking students to do. So I hope that I can aid them in kind of reflecting on those pieces, so that they're able to really tell their stories very well, and hopefully, end up with good news, the news that they're hopeful that they will get. So much of the program is meant to be an extension of what you learn in the classroom. The same sort of individualized attention, the same intellectual inquiry, right? Asking you to dig deep and to think and to analyze, but instead of perhaps analyzing literature, you're analyzing yourself. And figuring out how to convey and make the argument for yourself, right? So there is a lot of individual attention, a lot of one-on-one conversations that we get to have here. And so, and really, to bring back to the goals, the process is asking you to reflect on all 5.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can kind of think about how all of those have played into your development this far, you can produce some pretty good writing, I think.
Absolutely.
And I think about your application in general, and in particular with that. I think there were a lot of questions that you encountered that really required some of that goal reflection.
Absolutely. And I incorporated the goals in most of my essays. But I think 2 of the main goals that we focus on in the college counseling program here is definitely a deep respect for intellectual value and a personal growth in an atmosphere of wise freedom. Because as you said, we started the process in junior year when you were quite new, and we jumped right in. I think you were a little more eager than our class was, because we wanted to push on the brakes and slow down.
Sounds right.
Yeah, sounds about right. But the college counseling experience is so wonderful because we have a smaller class size, and I really got to know Miss Michalak quite quickly, and she probably knew me better than I thought she did. So you get what you put into it. As much effort as you put into it, you'll definitely get out of it. I think I ended up meeting with Miss Michalak at least once or twice a week, one-on-one, and we spent a lot of time together, and it paid off. I mean, she helped me through all of my struggles and was there when I got acceptances, and we were excited. And so it's really a wonderful experience.
So this college landscape is getting more and more challenging. I think that those acceptance rates are just, they continue to drop. I think that the anxiety continues to escalate as parents and students are trying to figure out where they are going to find the strongest sense of belonging. And I'm just wondering if you could share your thoughts on why at Stuart we might be defying some of those odds, that why our students are sticking out in this process and arriving at really positive college results. What is it about us that makes us attractive to colleges?
That's a great question. And I think it comes down to a little bit of what I've said, and I'll elaborate on that. I think, again, the intimate size here, right? When you come to Stuart, it's like, for me at least, and I don't want to speak for everyone, but it's like coming home to your family.
Absolutely.
Right? And so it's a place where our students are comfortable. And because they're comfortable, I think they are more adept at reflecting more deeply about themselves. And as I mentioned, so much of this process is telling a story and conveying who you are to a college. So if you can do that well and with intention and in a way that is authentic, which I think our girls do a really good job of, I think that results in some great college results. We can't control anything on the other side. All we can control is what we put out into the world. And you can craft reasons as to why you want to go to a school and have it, just be sort of surface level. You can say things that you think a college might want to hear. But if your answers are aiming at that rather than the self-reflection, I don't think you get as far. Because that, if you can write about that well, there is passion and there is purpose behind that. And that is something that someone on the other end can feel.
Yeah.
So
I would mention sincerity as well, Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you reflect back on the last 4 years for you and thinking about goal 5 of Wise Freedom, what choices did you make that were helpful? And maybe what choices would you share with your 9th grade colleagues to say, don't do that, So just thinking about the choices that have led you to where you are at the moment, if you could share some of those.
Absolutely. I would say 100% use the resources provided to you. I mean, we have the small class sizes and I have close relationship with my teachers. So from 9th grade, we discussed what my course trajectory would look like to get to this point. And so, I mean, if you go through school not paying attention to what's available to you, you're going to miss out. And so 9th grade, I met with teachers and said, this is what I want to be at when I'm a senior, and this is how we're going to do it. And I did it, and it worked out. And I mean, Miss Michalak is wonderful, and she planned these amazing events and things that we should attend to improve our efforts towards like getting into college. And I would say the boot camp over the summer to start writing our essay, I had my whole Common App essay written, I think, a week or two after the finishing of my junior year. And kids in other schools were like, I haven't even started. And I said, what do you mean? Miss Michalak said I should get on this. And sure enough, I did. And by the fall, I was editing it, and it was good to go. It was wonderful. The resources available to us are unbeatable.
So what about the other side? What advice would you say, like, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or maybe I shouldn't have stressed about that?
I mean, the stress comes with it, but I think I was most stressed when I wasn't meeting or talking about it. I would always get in my head and say, maybe I'm doing too much, maybe I'm like overestimating myself. But when I came to Miss Michalak, she would say, I mean, these are the facts, this is where we are, this is what we think, and you can handle it. And so leaving her office, I would say, maybe I'm doing too much, I don't know if I can do this. But she really supported me, and it's a super difficult situation. But I mean, I think you have to realize the situation you're in and look at all the facts and think, yeah, I can do this. I have the support I need, and I have the academic courses that I need to fulfill my wants and my needs.
Okay. So let's get down to some nuts and bolts. We talk about this process being pretty high touch, right? Hands-on. It's a full service operation. So Cindy, can you just walk us through those touch points as the process unfolds, just in terms of what parents and students can predict?
Absolutely. So the bulk of the work really does begin in the junior year, but I will back up to the sophomore year because this is something that I'm working on right now. So I do team up with our head of upper school, Marissa Moyo, for conversations about course selection with sophomores, so rising seniors, thinking about those upper class years when students often have more choice, trying to figure out what makes the most sense for them. So that's kind of my first meeting with our students that's more official. I will also meet with the sophomores at the end of their sophomore year, just to give a little bit of an overview of things to think about as you go into the summer, heading into your junior year. November of junior year, we have a big kickoff event where all the students and their parents come, and I kind of give an overview of what our philosophy is and what the year ahead will look like. From that point, we'll have our first individual meeting. I'll have my first individual meeting with the juniors individually and try to really get to know them, dig in deep. What are the things that you like doing? What are the things you don't like doing? What have been some great moments in your life, some important people in your life to just, I think, build rapport, build a relationship, and so that I can get in your brain a little bit and try to think about how you see the world. So those individual meetings are also ongoing right now. January through May, we do a junior seminar, junior college seminar. That's once per cycle. And in that, we cover topics like what is a college fit, majors and career options. Mm-hmm. We actually get started on our common applications. So we'll open up common application accounts. We work on extracurricular activities. We'll start talking about essays. Students will meet with me as they need throughout the junior year. And at the end of that, what am I saying? Oh, college fair. We have a big, huge college fair that we team up with the other Princeton area independent schools for. We bring in about 150 schools to meet with our students. So that's a lot of fun. And then the boot camp that Anna mentioned. So we do a week-long college essay boot camp where the hope is that students leave with a solid draft of their essay.
Absolutely.
Poster child here is great. So that's a lot of fun, I think. And most students really did produce a solid draft, which is the goal. We bring in admissions folks to kind of help and give feedback as well. Throughout the summer, I do a couple application workshops for students to come in and get work done. And then senior year, really as you're really in the weeds of it, we're typically meeting about once a week, just to kind of break up the process, right? I think if you look at a list and you think, oh my gosh, I have all of these deadlines, how am I going to get all this work done? the purpose of that is A, to keep you motivated, but B, to break the process down into small chunks, right? To make it palatable, to say, okay, yes, I can do this because next week I just need to write this one essay supplement, or I just need to revise this supplement, or so it becomes a lot, I think, easier to digest as students go through. And then senior year, the rest of it is really just kind of as needed, right? I'm here for students whenever they want to chat, and that's for all students in the upper school, honestly. But it's really the juniors and seniors that are certainly thinking much more about college, as they're really in the process. And so, yeah, so I think it's fortunate that I'm, have the ability to meet with the students as often as they need and give them whatever support they might need.
Well, being a parent of a senior, I can't undervalue how critical it is to have someone other than me that is guiding my child through a process. Parents, I think that part of the stress of it is that really you're at an inflection point in your child's life where they are really getting ready to launch into an adult life. And this process, while sometimes for parents feels painful because of how little you have to contribute to it, when you really think about it, uh, it's a beautiful thing to watch your child with guidance walk through a very adult decision-making process, and arrive in a place that feels really um, uh, in a place where they are taking ownership. And so I think, though, what helps parents is to know that there is that guidance available. It allows you then to continue just to be available for the hugs, and for the love, and to make sure that they are eating and drinking and doing all of those basic needs things that you have to take care of as they work then with their college office. So I think that as you think about high school for your daughter, those resources that Anna spoke about, or they become even so much more critical as they get older because they rely on you exclusively less. And so to know that, Anna's, I think that Anna's mom would say, thank God I know that Cindy is here, because then I don't have to do the minutia conversations. I don't have to have the fight with my daughter over is her essay ready. That is taken care of, and that's a really important maturation point for your daughter. So I just wanted to throw that in as a survivor of the college process myself as a parent. So so what is currently happening in your spaces right now? And it doesn't have to be college particular, Anna, but as you think about your next set of goals, as you launch into your adult space, I'd love to hear what you're thinking. What are you thinking in terms of, like, not so much career, could be life. It could be what you're most excited about as you're leaving Stuart after so many years, and what you're hoping to build as you leave.
It's a little overwhelming that it's happening so soon and so quickly, but I've been reaching out to kids who go to the schools I'm interested in, my top choices, and asking them how they enjoy their school life, what clubs they're interested in, the area around the school. I'm just getting immersed into a new area and a new moment in my life, which is super exciting. I'm also focusing on my friends and their acceptances and their excitement and what they plan on doing with their lives. And it's been a roller coaster. It really has been. It's been up and down, and we're still in it. Like, I still have friends waiting for acceptances. We all have fingers crossed, and we're all there together. So it's really where we're all going to be happy, and I'm excited to see where each one of us ends up.
Awesome. Okay, well, I promise brevity for this live feed. So I want to thank you so much, Ms. Michalak and Anna, for joining us and for giving us this window into your world. And I want to thank people who stopped to listen. And we will join you for episode 6, probably next week. So thanks very much. Have a great day. Bye.